What are the common pet poisons you need to know about? In this video, I run through the top 20 dangerous foods and household toxins for dogs and cats. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex from Our Pets Health, where my aim is to help your pet stay as healthy and safe as possible. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification to make sure you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. Our houses, garages and gardens are full of potential poisons and toxins that our dogs and cats would just love to eat. If you want more details about the poisonous foods for dogs and cats or the common household toxins our pets often come across, then make sure you check out the videos linked below. But for now, let's jump into the list. So at number 1, and by far the most common pet poison seen, is chocolate. Thankfully, it's by no means the most dangerous, and the majority of dog owners are really well aware not to feed their dog chocolate. Make no mistake though, chocolate really can be a dangerous, deadly food, especially dark chocolates eaten by a small dog. To find out just how much chocolate your dog would have to eat to be poisoned, then check out the dedicated chocolate poisoning video linked below. The second most common pet poison I see in practice is rat bait toxicity. It is tasty to both dogs and cats, so they may well actually actively search it out. It also gets moved around by rodents, so there is really no such thing as a safe place to put it. If you have pets, then really don't use rat bait. The most common type is warfarin based, and this actually prevents the blood from being able to clot. And as a result, a poisoned animal simply bleeds to death. There is an antidote if caught in time, but if you have pets, don't use rat poison. So moldy food is my third most common pet poison. Dogs scavenge in the bins or compost heap are normally the culprits. And mould on food, it can produce a mycotoxin, which affects the nervous system within a couple of hours of being eaten. The result is a dog who becomes wobbly, starts twitching, and this can then progress to seizures and death. Thankfully though, the response to treatment is normally excellent. So at number 4 is not a poison in the strictest sense, but regularly causes serious problems when eaten, and so it's a worthy addition to this list. Bones, especially cooked bones, have the potential to fracture teeth, to get stuck in the stomach, and also puncture holes in the intestine. The last two can easily prove fatal if not addressed by expensive surgery. Now, some dogs will get away with eating bones their whole life, others though are not so lucky. My fifth common pet poison and dangerous food for dogs is xylitol. This sugar-free sweetener causes a potentially fatal drop in blood sugar levels, with higher doses then going on and causing liver failure if they survive. It's really toxic stuff and found in a lot of sugar-free foods. A single piece of sugar-free gum can be enough to poison a 44-pound or 20-kilo dog. Number 6 on the common pet poison list is antifreeze, also known as ethylene glycol. Antifreeze too, it's very poisonous stuff. It only takes a teaspoon to kill a cat and a tablespoon to poison a small dog. Once consumed, the kidneys rapidly shut down and the fatality rate is pretty much 100%. So slug bait is number 7. Like most poisons, it is tasty, and so it's actually not unusual for our pets to actively seek it out. It is also a deadly poison. A tiny 18 grams is all it takes to poison a 20-pound or 9-kilo dog. Once eaten, it causes tremors, seizures and hypothermia, which then progress to multi-organ failure and death. So raisins and grapes are the 8th common poison on the list. In affected animals, they cause potentially irreversible kidney failure. The fact that's different about these poisons compared to others is that we don't actually know exactly what part of the grape or the raisin is toxic. This is then combined with the fact that raisins and grapes are very poisonous to some animals, but then other animals seem to be completely unaffected. And there is currently no way to know if your dog is sensitive to grapes and raisins, so it's just better to be very cautious. Another poisonous food for dogs and cats is my number 9. Garlic, onions, leeks and chives cause destruction of the body's red blood cells, which can then result in anemia. While a lot needs to be eaten in one go to be really dangerous, these again are different to other poisons because small amounts eaten over a longer period of time can be just as dangerous as a large amount eaten in a single sitting. In terms of toxicity, garlic is 4 times more poisonous than onions. So at number 10 and halfway through the list is corn cobs. A bit like bones, these are not poisonous in the strictest sense, but once eaten can easily result in death, so they definitely deserve to be on this list. And the reason for this is that corn cobs, they're often scavenged from bins or even fed to dogs as a treat. They are a size that can allow them to be swallowed, but then not get broken down in the stomach. They then move into the intestines, and once there, the corn cobs will often get stuck, causing a complete obstruction. To then make matters worse, they're also actually very hard to see on x-ray sometimes, and so surgery might be delayed for longer than is ideal, making them even more dangerous. Aspirin and ibuprofen are next, and are often a result of being given by well-meaning owners who think that their pets are in pain. So these are both examples of NSAIDs, non-steroidals, and are a class of drug that is used in pets, but the human form can be very dangerous. Our pets are not little people, and poisoning causes intestinal ulceration and kidney damage. Always stick to medications advised by your vet, and if you want to know more about non-steroidals, then check out my related video down below. Another human painkiller is 12 on the common pet poisons list. Paracetamol, or acetaminophen, while safe for dogs at the right dose, is actually very toxic for cats. And this is because cats lack the ability to break it down in the same way as people and dogs. Instead, poisonous chemicals are formed by the liver, which rapidly cause death. So never give your cat paracetamol. Another cat poison is at number 13 on the common pet poisons list. Permethrin, as well as other pyrethrins and pyrethroids, are found in some flea and tick products for dogs. Cats, though, are exceptionally sensitive to these chemicals, with the most common symptoms seen being twitching and seizures. Now, while most poisonings are due to the product being applied directly to the cat's skin, it is a good idea to either use a different product on your dog if you have a cat, or at least keep them separate for a few hours while the product dries. Common pet poison number 14 is macadamia nuts. Now, these seem to be on every poisonous food list, but really they aren't that bad. They can result in a non-fatal syndrome, which is characterised by vomiting, incoordination and weakness. And some badly affected dogs will need supportive care to prevent other problems from developing, but in reality, macadamia nuts are not nearly as bad as the other common pet poisons on this list. Household cleaners come in at number 15, and these are generally strong acids or alkalis that are not only irritant, but also can cause severe erosion. As well as burning the mouth, if swallowed they cause severe ulceration of the esophagus and stomach, and this can be so bad that the intestines develop holes, which is invariably fatal. Okay, we're on the home straight now, and next up are lilies. So true lilies of the lilium family contain a poison in their leaves, pollen and stems that causes a cat's kidneys to fail. A cat can be poisoned by eating the plant, or poisoning can simply take place if its coat gets contaminated by pollen, such as from brushing up against a fresh bunch of flowers, which the cat then eats when it's grooming itself. 17 is coffee, or more specifically caffeine. Caffeine, of course, is not just found in coffee, but also energy drinks, caffeine pills and tea. In our pets, caffeine can cause hyperactivity, restlessness, vomiting, a racing heart rate, and this can progress to an abnormal heart rhythm, tremors, seizures, and even death. Caffeine pills are perhaps the biggest risk, with only 3.5 needed to be toxic to a 10-pound or 4.5 kilo pet. Number 18 might surprise you, but is one of the most popular calls owners make to poisoning services. Glow sticks and jewellery contain an intense irritant that causes profuse drooling, gagging and retching. And these symptoms can look really severe, but thankfully the chemical itself actually has a very low toxicity. And so while looking pretty terrible, recovery is usually rapid without need for further treatment. Bread dough is my penultimate common poison for dogs and cats. When eaten, the warm stomach causes the dough to expand, and it also starts producing alcohol. And it's actually this alcohol toxicity that is generally the cause of death. So if you're a home baker, keep any bread dough out of reach. And last but not least, in my top 20 dangerous foods and household toxins for dogs and cats is just other human and animal medications. The most common reported ones are heart medication, antidepressant, ADHD treatments, cold and allergy medications, and sleeping pills. Signs of poisoning really depend on what drug your pet has eaten. Needless to say though, don't give your pet any drugs unless advised by your vet. In some cases, a single tablet of certain human medications can be enough to result in toxicity. And this means that not only should you keep any medications safely locked away, when you're getting any out of the container, it's really best if your pet is not in the same room, so that if any are dropped, then they can be found and picked up before your pet has a chance to eat them. Okay, so for more details on all of these potential poisons, check out the videos linked below, which will let you know how much your individual pet would need to eat, what the poisoning symptoms to look out for are, and when to call for help. I also discuss if you should make your pet sick or not, and this is not always a good idea for a number of reasons, so it's not something that I would generally recommend without talking to your vet first. So has your pet been poisoned by something not on this list? Then if so, please leave a comment down below just to let everyone else know what they should be careful about. Also, remember to subscribe, and until next time, I'm Dr. Alex from Our Pets Health, because they're family.